Hello and welcome to Night Fever episode 13, a match preview of our upcoming game against Brisbane Roar on Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's right, Sunday, not Saturday, and 3 p.m, not 5 p.m. It's going to be at Mount Smart Stadium, Go Media. We're back at home for the first of 3 in a row home matches. Auckland FC looking to stay on top of the table, and Brisbane Roar looking to continue their good start to the season. Let's get into it. Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks since our last match due to the international break. And we have Brisbane Roar coming to Mount Smart on Sunday. It's the 5th game of the season and we're back at Go Media Stadium. For us, it's a great opportunity building on the momentum we had off the back of that 2-1 Derby Day victory over Wellington down at Sky Stadium. We need to solidify that form and continue the challenge at the top of the A-League table. For Brisbane Roar, it's a chance to continue their better start to this season, where last season they finished 12th in the A-League. They are under new management, Michael Valkanis, who is now in charge of the Roar. In the head-to-heads between the two clubs, we've played each other 3 times in total, 2 league matches and 1 friendly. Last year in the league, Brisbane Roar were our first game of the season, first game of our professional existence, where we turned out 2-0 winners at Go Media Stadium. And following that, we had another 2-0 win against Brisbane away at Suncorp. In the close season, we played out a 2-2 draw in a pre-season friendly. So historically, Auckland FC have Brisbane's number. Let's hope we can continue that trend this weekend. Recent form sees Auckland coming in off the back of 3 victories in a row, all by a single goal. And also they had the opening season draw against Melbourne Victory. For Brisbane Roar, more inconsistency. They won the first game of the season 1-0 and then they lost the following game away to the Phoenix before drawing with Melbourne City. And in the last outing, there were 3-0 victors over the Han Australia Cup champions, Newcastle Jets. So while Brisbane Roar are trending upwards, they're not yet the same force that Auckland has been so far. Let's now take a look at the opposition strengths. Brisbane Roar, they've had a squad overhaul in the closed season. They've brought in a lot of faces, which have helped energise the team, giving them a much better start to this season. Attacking additions, striker Christopher Long, he's from England, a key signing to boost their firepower. Midfield steel, Bosnian Stacic, he arrives to provide stability and creativity in midfield. Some defensive reinforcements saw the signing of Burke Gilroy, and they've also added James McGarry, a New Zealand international, to help tighten the defence. They've brought in versatility in Salas on loan. He can play both at right back and defensive midfield, offering some tactical flexibility. And the coaching change itself, Valkanis now in charge. There's a fresh philosophy. He's spoken about bringing in winners and a good mentality, not just individual talent. These changes make Brisbane a different proposition from the team that struggled last season. Taking a look now at the notable players of Brisbane. Christopher Long, as mentioned, the English striker, brought in to score goals. Much needed given their scoring struggles last season. Milorad Stacic, the midfield dynamo, likely to be central to their play, offering both defensive cover and creative spark. James McGarry, returning to the A-League, a solid defender, and his New Zealand connection could make this matchup particularly interesting. Justin Salas, versatile, experienced, good for both defensive midfield and fullback. Jay O'Shea, despite the overall, he remains a leader. In 24-25, he was a driving force, contributing goals and assists. Sam Klein, one of their top goal scorers last season with 5, and a young talent they'll lean on. Auckland FC are going to be without the injured Jake Brimmer. He dislocated his shoulder in the match against the Wellington Phoenix. Hiroki Sakai, hamstring injury from Adelaide United a few weeks back. And Mali Francois with a calf injury still out. Dan Hall, he will be serving a one-match ban. And Logan Rogerson, he begins his two-match ban following their red cards last time round against the Phoenix in the capital. These absences will matter for Auckland. Losing Sakai, Brimmer in midfield can impact our shape. Brisbane could be missing some defensive options that could weaken their back line. The likely lineups, here's what I expect we could see this weekend. Auckland FC going with their trusty 4-4-2 formation. Michael Vau staying in goal. A good couple of games for Michael Vau, cementing his place ahead of new signing Ollie Sale. Defenders, Callan Elliott at right back in for the injured Sakai. Centre-back Nando Peinica back to our starting 11 following the suspension of Dan Hall. And he'll be partnering Jake Girdwood-Reich with Francis de Vries at left back, offering the width and defensive cover. He'll be back from international duty with New Zealand, who played against Colombia. In midfield, I see Brook maintaining his place on the right, with Louis Verstraete and Gallegos teaming up in the middle following Brimmer's injury. On the left, Jesse Randall also back from international duty with New Zealand. He'll had a good dynamic with runs into space. Forwards, Sam Cosgrove, that powerful target man. He's got 3 goals in the last 2 games. He's in hot form right now. I can see him continuing his goal-scoring streak. And Guillermo Mai, our mobile number 10, to link up play between the midfield and Sam up front. Brisbane Roar probably going with something similar to what they've had previously. Buzanis in goal. Defenders, Burke Gilroy or Salas. The experienced Falconas at centre-back with Harrington, who is young and athletic. Left-back, James McGarry, the returning Kiwi defender. In midfield, O'Shea, the defensive midfielder, to help protect the back line. And Sam Klein in the middle, offering energy and transition. Attacking midfield / cam, Stacic with his creativity will link the forward line. In attack, Vrakas offering pace and threat. Holleran and Christopher Long. We've recently seen Roos and Vidic partnering up front. They may continue with that pairing. Now, the interesting part, the tactical matchups. Midfield control, Auckland's Verstraete and Gallegos versus Brisbane's central midfielders. If Auckland can dominate here, they'll control the tempo. However, Brisbane, they hold a wild card in Stacic, offering creativity and linking with Long. Wide threats, Brook and Randall on the wings, they can stretch the Brisbane defence. Meanwhile, Brisbane's forward players contest the Auckland's fullback, especially McGarry on the left for Brisbane, who likes to push forward. Defence versus attack, Auckland's Peinica and Girdwood-Reich central pairing will need to be alert for Long up front. He'll be their primary target man. Brisbane's fullbacks, they could be vulnerable to Auckland's wingers if pushed high. Set pieces opportunities with a physical Auckland backline and good delivery, corner and free kicks could be a source of danger. Brisbane, with some height in defence, must stay organised. The transitions, Auckland are dangerous on the break. If they win the ball in midfield and spring Cosgrove or Mai forward, Brisbane could try to counter through Stacic's creativity and pace from the midfield. The match prediction, okay, here goes. I think Auckland are slight favourites. We've got a bit of a different Brisbane this season, and Auckland are maintaining their push at the front. I see Auckland being slight favourites with a 2-1 victory. The home advantage, and given their past performances against the Roar, we are in a strong spot. Scoreline prediction, Auckland FC 2, Brisbane Roar 1. A goal from open play, maybe Cozzy or Mai, or possibly from a set piece. Brisbane will likely get one. Long might get on the score sheet, or they could work through Stajic and Holleran. If Brisbane are disciplined and don't allow Auckland to dominate centrally, they could sneak something. But I lean towards a win for Auckland. Well, that's the podcast wrap for now. Do remember Sunday 3 p.m, not Saturday 5 p.m. this weekend. It's a critical game for Auckland, continuing to build momentum, and a big chance for Brisbane to show their squad overhaul is working. The key themes of the midfield battle, transition play, set pieces, they'll all be important, and how well Brisbane integrate their new signings. We'll need to watch whether Auckland can dominate in midfield, how Christopher Long performs, the impact of injuries and suspensions to Auckland key players, Brimmer, Sakai, Hall, Rogerson, could play their part this weekend. For us, the Auckland fans, this feels like a game we should win, but nothing is guaranteed in the A-League. I'll be there in the stands hoping for a strong, composed performance. And make sure you get yourselves to Mount Smart this Sunday at 3 o'clock to support the boys. Let's get that attendance back up to what it was last season. We've dropped off a lot compared to last season. Let's try and get more numbers through those gates. If you're listening, let me know your predictions. Who do you think will score, and how do you think the team might set up? All right, that is a wrap for episode 13, a preview of Auckland FC versus Brisbane Roar this coming weekend, Matchday 5. Thanks for tuning in to Night Fever. I'll catch you again after the match for post-match thoughts. Remember to subscribe or follow the podcast so you don't miss the next one. Up the port, up the Black Knights, and until next time, goodbye for now.